I loved dogs, was obsessed with dogs, would have done anything to have a dog, begged and pleaded for a dog. When I couldn't get a dog, I wrote stories about dogs. I was just obsessed with it. And then I completely forgot about that because life was organized in a way that didn't make that possible. And, and that just became a suppressed, repressed part of my authentic self. And while I was at WVU, I was close friends with the associate dean who had rescued dogs. And I fell in love with his dogs, and it reawakened that part of me. And as soon as we broke ground for our house, and therefore weren't restrained by no pets clauses in the leases that we had prior to that, I rescued my first dog. So something about an adult dog that has been through a lot and that life is knocked around, and giving them a safe environment and love that they can depend on day in, day out for the first time in their lives. That's really rewarding. My third dog was my first adult rescue. To me, it doesn't really make a lot of difference. I sort of feel like they pick me. I just know when I bring a foster home, sometimes even before I get it home, whether or not it's one I'm going to keep or not. There's just that feeling you have that this one is meant to be mine. I've made that connection with this dog, you know? Hey, I'm Dr. Jody Wolf, and I own Wolf's and also serve on the board of Animal Friends and work with other animal rescue organizations. I used to be a research assistant professor of curriculum and instruction in the College of Education and Human Services. And I worked primarily, at the time I resigned, I worked primarily out of the dean's office.
So was that like adopting the dog like the catalyst event that made you want to switch gears from teaching to...
It was like two things converging. It was like my dissatisfaction with my job. I had Penelope and had totally fallen in love and was training her to be a therapy dog and was sensing this need for different products and becoming interested in dog products and canine health. And I actually organized it. So I left Allen Hall on a Thursday and opened Wolf's on a Monday, that Monday. I gave myself like literally no time at all. I had been working on getting it ready and gave myself 3 days to make that transition, and then I was off and running here. I'm a pretty intuitive person, and it was one of those times where my intuition told me this was the right thing to do. And I had a certainty about it that caused me not to be nervous when someone said it won't work. I just knew. And there have been 3 or 4 or 5 things like that in my life that I've just been that certain about, and this was one of them. And which isn't to say it's always been easy, because it hasn't, but I've always known it was the right thing to do. and I had to reassess after a year or so. Okay, well, now I've done what I said I was going to do. Am I sticking with it, or do I want to hire someone to manage it now that it's off and running? But it's too much fun. I didn't want to go back.